This house doesn't need 100 ideas. It needs 2 or 3 really beautiful ideas. And then holding on to those as a guiding light, as a principle. We wanted timber and we wanted the white. We talked about the white surfaces being light and billowy, almost like clouds sitting within this warm timber embrace.
I'm Ben Peake, Principal at Carter Williamson Architects.
And I'm Sean Carter, Principal at Carter Williamson Architects. And this is Wisteria. Summerhill is a suburb in the inner west of Sydney. It's on that threshold between urban and suburban. It's a brushbox street, so they've got these gorgeous brushbox trees and has these lovely Federation bungalows, and this house, Wisteria, sits within that context. Wisteria is built on the traditional lands of the Wan and Gadi people of the Eora Nation. The initial brief for this project was, we had a house in a heritage context, this is in a conservation area. It had all this sort of 1950s, 1980s, 1990s sort of extensions that kind of get smaller and smaller as they rambled to the backyard, but was completely disconnected from the rear garden. So they wanted the living spaces remade at the rear of the house in a way that was contextually appropriate.
We're all amazed at how beautiful the existing landscape was and the treetops, the views to the Jacaranda in the backyard. So one of the first moves was really thinking about how we could create that connection to the outdoors.
We start at the front gate. You've got this wonderful presentation, that classical Federation bungalow to the street. And you open that front door and you walk into this beautiful corridor. But that light's continuing to pull you through. You get through that first arch threshold and you get to the second one and you see that there's a living space, and it was always the living space, but we've slightly modified that so it's now not only working from the side but also looking back. Off to the right-hand side is a stair, and that stair is very sculptural and quite a bit different, and deliberately so. And there's a bathroom just beyond that. The rear pavilion is separated from the original house to the front with these lovely little light-well courtyards. And that then gave us this wonderful opportunity to have the town hall steps idea that cascade to the ground plane. And this is a deliberately white light space. We went for a Dulux natural white, so we want that to be really bright, really reflective. But as you walk down into the warm embrace of the house, we've changed the white. We've used Dulux Antique White USA, which is a really warm white, and it's playing beautifully with the timber. So you go through a half a flight transition and you land on this beautiful polished concrete floor. And you're right in the focal point of the house now. We've got a lovely kitchen off to the left-hand side. We have a pantry, WC, but we also have the laundry. To the right-hand side, you'll see the living space that's hidden behind this lovely, beautiful white wall that's a bit tantalising. And then you see this really crafted steel stair that takes you upstairs. Off to the right-hand side is the gallery that looks down into the main living space. That's a study area, and to the left-hand side sits the private domain of the main bedroom. The original house is brick, and we wanted to add the new part in a material that was different. And in fact, it's a complete timber construction. That timber could just be built by skilled carpenters. It was less expensive to build. But timber is a really wonderful material that you can craft and make.
The floor is polished concrete, which creates a really robust floor for everyday living. And then the central wall that divides the dining room from the living space has vertical lines through it to create a sense of rhythm. Because you walk past it and brush up against it, we've used Dulux wash and wear. Complementing the restrained palette, we have used colour in the joinery. So Dulux knapsack for the joinery fronts in the laundry, study and living room. Dulux do something really generous with their study tour, something that supports emerging designers and architects in our profession. And I was fortunate to go to London, Copenhagen and Lisbon on my tour, and for 10 days, not only see great architecture, but be in the offices of some great international architects.
From a career point of view, even being on the shortlist was something that was really quite amazing. So here we are sitting in Wisteria. It's a beautiful building, but it is also the culmination of all those study tours. To be able to exercise all those learnings, to be able to make a beautiful piece of architecture, does feel really significant. What I'm most proud of with this project is the warmth of this home. You never really get overscaled, you never really get lost, you never really get cold. You really do feel like it's a home.
And they're using the home in the way we imagined it for them. It's just really lovely to hear that.